To other news now, and the number of civilian casualties in Afghanistan is rising. A UN report says women and children are increasingly bearing the brunt of the violence. The number of civilian casualties rose by 14% in 2013 compared with the previous year. Civilian deaths grew by 7% to nearly 3,000, and since 2009, the conflict has killed more than 14,000 Afghan civilians. 2013 was the worst year for Afghan women and children since 2009. Child casualties have risen by 34%. The main cause of the surge is the increased use of improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, by groups opposed to the government. Well, joining me live from Kabul is Najeeb Azizi. He's a political analyst. Very good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. These are terrible figures, aren't they? Just who is to blame? What is to blame for this worsening security situation, for the increase in civilian casualties?
First thing is that it is very tragic for Afghanistan that we are now seeing for the last 2 years the highest percentages of the civilian casualties as well as the civilian injuries by both the Afghan government entire groups as well as by the pro-government groups, which include the American forces here in Afghanistan. So I think it's very important for us to make it very clear for everyone that according to the international humanitarian laws, it is a war crime, and it has to be made very clear to everyone that they have to understand it, that on the day of justice, which is not very far from me, everyone who are killing the civilians for any purpose, it's unacceptable and it's a war crime, and they will be put onto trial. And they have to understand that it's an easy target to kill the Afghan civilians. In particular, we have seen in the last couple of weeks the sportsmen in Kandahar as well as in Laghman, and then with the IEDs, the common people, and in particular the most vulnerable groups of the community are targeted, which are the women and the children,
so how
who
much
have got
do you think
no
then,
sort of protection.
And how much do you think then that these figures will undermine that US stance, that it's only fighters that are being targeted in Afghanistan? It might just be fighters that are being targeted, but obviously it's civilians that are being killed.
The important for me as an Afghan is that it's the Afghan lives which get lost, and we are the people who are suffering from all these casualties. It is important for us that the majority, over probably 70–80% of the killings and the casualties are coming from the anti-government forces. However, whatsoever be the other percentage, it's all important for us that the Afghan people should be protected. Like there is a specific game of the rule of the game for everyone, that while they're fighting, they have to be careful for the civilians from both sides. And then again, it's not a political issue that we may debate for it or against it. It's a very clear thing for Afghans that it is their lives that gets affected.
No doubt, but this will no doubt be a big election issue. Security always is in Afghanistan. Just how much hope do you have, Mr. Azizi, that these figures are not going to worsen with the political transition?
First thing is that unfortunately the current situation is telling us that with the as we will get more closer to the elections, the civilian casualties may get higher. And it's very unfortunate, and it's very important for the Afghan security forces that they put specific plans in place, and they make sure that the lives of the ordinary people do not get affected by the troublemakers who will make different types of plans in order to demotivate the Afghan people from voting. And at the same time, I think that it's very important for the presidential candidates to make their stance very clear for the Afghan people, that what sort of a government they will form in the future, in particular the current tension that we are having in terms of security with the United States of America in terms of BSA. And then it's also very important that what sort of dialogue they will have with the Taliban, and how they will make sure that the Taliban do understand that they have to come to the table and they have to discuss the issues instead of fighting and in particular killing the vulnerables in this country.
Thank you very much for that. That's political analyst Najeeb Azizi joining us from Kabul. Thank you.